or naturalistic fallacy. Now, I also hear criticisms regarding my use of generalizations and so forth, but I've already made videos about that. But I want to make a quick video addressing this criticism that I am using an appeal to nature or naturalistic fallacy. Because when I actually try to engage with these people in the comment section, when they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. So let me explain what the appeal to nature fallacy is from two sources, one from Wikipedia and one from yourlogicalfallacyis.com. From Wikipedia, quote, "An appeal to nature is an argument or rhetorical tactic in which it is proposed that a thing is good because it is natural, or bad because it is unnatural. It is usually an invalid argument because the implicit unstated primary premise, what is natural is good, typically is irrelevant, having no cogent meaning in practice, or is an opinion instead of a fact. In some philosophical frameworks where natural and good are clearly defined in a specific context, the appeal to nature might be valid and cogent." An example of the naturalistic fallacy according to Wikipedia is, quote, "That which is natural is good, N is natural, therefore N is good or right. That which is unnatural is bad or wrong, U is unnatural, therefore U is bad or wrong." Seems to sum it up. Now let's also check the Your Logical Fallacy Is website. It explains the appeal to nature fallacy thusly, quote, "You argue that because something is natural, it is therefore valid, justified, inevitable, good, or ideal. Many natural things are also considered good, and this can bias our thinking, but naturalness itself doesn't make something good or bad. For instance, murder can be seen as very natural, but that doesn't mean it's good or justifiable. Example, the medicine man rolled into town on his bandwagon offering various natural remedies, such as very special plain water. He said that it was only natural that people should be wary of artificial medicines such as antibiotics." Unquote. So now that we understand what a naturalistic fallacy is, do my arguments regarding sexual dimorphism, patriarchy, and so forth fit within this appeal to nature or naturalistic fallacy? And the answer is no. I'm not arguing that because animals are naturally patriarchal because they're sexual dimorphic that this is morally good or right. I don't give a shit what is morally good or right. Morals don't objectively exist. Morals are opinions based on majority. We come together and we decide that murder is wrong. I'll use a very easy example. So we all come together and decide that being murdered is bad. So we have a preference not to be murdered, so we pass laws that make murder wrong. But then there are other cultures like the Aztecs which practiced human sacrifice, which is objectively murder. And they thought it was the bee's knees. They fucking cut people's hearts out and threw their heads down the steps all the fucking time. So it's not universal. Animals kill and eat each other all the fucking time. And they don't just kill each other for food. They kill each other for territory and other resources. I'm not talking about what's morally right. I don't care. So this whole argument saying, oh, I'm using a fallacy, I'm not talking about morals. I'm not talking about ethics. I'm not talking about morals or ethics. Bullshit about logical fallacies doesn't even fit into this conversation. I'm talking about what works and the trade-offs between different social models. When you have a sexually dimorphic species, which you see all throughout nature, you see patriarchy, as long as the sexual dimorphism favors the male, and you see matriarchy when the sexual dimorphism favors the female. In the instance of sexual dimorphism favoring the male and a patriarchy, you have less hypergamy but more male disposability as males fight among themselves. Now, this isn't necessarily ideal for men, but it's better than a matriarchy where the males are shit on by absolutely every female in the group. The trade-off in a matriarchy is you have less male disposability, less violence, less war, and so forth. It's more peaceful, but you also have more hypergamy. Males have to give gifts and wine and dine the females in order to get any play. And in some species, they get their dicks ripped off or get their heads eaten after sex to ensure genetic diversity. Now, at no point am I saying that this is morally right or justifiable. It just is. It's nature. I'm stating facts based on observations. This isn't even a philosophical debate. This is scientific fact. I'm talking about actual observable reality. So when you're coming at observable reality, talking about logical fallacies, you're acting like a fucking retard. And the reason why you're a retard is you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're bringing a knife to a gunfight. You're bringing a rubber chicken to a gunfight because you don't understand the proper use of logical fallacies. We're not having a philosophical debate. There's a time and a place for philosophical debate. Now, whether or not you value a society which has less male disposability at the cost of more hypergamy, or less hypergamy at the cost of more male disposability, that's a debate worth having. That's a debate with more or less a philosophical answer rather than a scientific one. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about preferences, I'm not talking about morals, I'm not talking about ethics. I'm talking about observable scientific reality. So that's all I have to say. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.